The main goals for the Boundary Street project were to improve the capacity of the corridor, to improve safety of the corridor, and to improve the interconnectivity of the corridor, US 21 business as it comes into the city of Beaufort proper.
I think that this project is one of many that has been an ideal coordination between the county, the engineering firm, the city, DOT. Everybody involved has worked completely together on this, and we're all extremely pleased to be able to say here's a project that's coming in ahead of time and on or under budget.
The Boundary Street project was predicated upon making a safer, more visually appealing thoroughfare to the entrance of the city of Beaufort. This is the first road that they're going to drive in on, and they're going to see the trees that are on either side of the road, trees and landscaping that's in the center median. They're also going to see a collection of about 159 LED lights. So if you can imagine a project with in excess of 20 partners. Now what I mean by 20 partners is you've got the utilities, and you of course have got the prime contractor, you've got the engineering consultant, but then you've got all the subcontractors, and then you've got the businesses and some of the other contributors to the project. So on any given day, we've got about 20 contributors to the project, and as you can probably imagine, trying to pull all of those pieces and parts together to synchronize efforts is a challenge.
There's just so many stakeholders that come together. Those stakeholders are utilities, Federal Highway, South Carolina DOT, the county, and also the city of Beaufort. So bringing those all together to get the one vision to come together collectively has been difficult, but that's been one of the challenges that we've been overcoming and having all those stakeholders together.
The primary engineering challenge was to fit all of the above-ground utilities underground. Obviously, space is a premium. In the ground already exist water lines, sewer lines, telecommunication lines, and storm drainage lines. And now with this project, all the electrical services, all the electrical distribution, as well as the above-ground telecommunications are now underground. The primary component in the safety of the project was the installation of a raised median. It virtually eliminates sideswipe, and it does eliminate any kind of head-on that we had in the corridor.
So it's an urbanized area, so facilitating all this construction work, and especially some of this deep construction work underground, under live traffic and facilitating continuous operation with the businesses. So there's constant coordination with the businesses to ensure that we keep them open and uninterrupted as much as possible, as well as traffic trying to facilitate our work and make sure that we interrupt traffic as least as possible. So working in the urbanized environment has been a challenge that we have to coordinate with on a daily basis. One thing that we did throughout the beginning of the project has shifted traffic, so we're able to do a lot of the work at daytime, which that increases productivity in our schedule. And then also trying to look at different parts of the project where we could abbreviate the schedule by doing different types of operations. For instance, with the median construction, we impacted traffic rather than doing that at nighttime. We made an exception and a variance coordinating with DOT to do that work during the daytime. And even though it was an interruption to the traffic, we were able to facilitate that, and we cut 2 to 3 weeks off the schedule by facilitating that work during the daytime.
I think one of the real important things of this project that hasn't really been clear to people is this is not really taking any local taxpayer money. This project is being funded, number one, by a Tiger grant, which is covering about $12 million of the total $35 million project. The second part was the 1-cent tax that was passed several years ago as a road improvement, and that is covering, I believe it's close to $8 million of the project. That's the important thing that we all have to bear in mind, because we do have another referendum coming up this year to do road improvements and transportation improvements. This is a perfect testament to being able to say a well-managed, engineered, and coordinated project can bring benefits to all our taxpayers.
The Boundary Street project was one of 46 projects in 33 states to be awarded Tiger Round 3 funding. The Tiger Grant is a grant program that Congress started in order to increase economic recovery and enhance transportation in the nation's infrastructure. Tiger funds provided for over $12.5 million worth of funding on the Boundary Street project. So part of the Tiger Grant is periodic reporting, and there are reporting requirements every month and every quarter about percent complete and all the different funding sources that are being used. There are also very specific parameters that are in the grant application for performance measures to show the improvements that have been accomplished through this project.
There's a parallel road. We made a connection between South Carolina Route 170, US 21, and the streets that existed in the commercial frontage just back, one block back. So now there's an alternate route, if you will, all the way from Hogarth to South Carolina Route 170.
We put a parallel road in, which is called Polk Street. Polk Street, it's a way for emergency vehicles to get through if they have to, but we hope to be able to expand that in future years. Battery Park, which will be expanded to probably be about an 8-acre park when it's done. Passive Park, with parking for people to be able to take a view of the marsh. But basically, I think the real beauty there is you're really seeing Beaufort as it should be. You have a modern highway and you have a gorgeous view that's been there for hundreds of years.
It's very important to have a passive park, so when folks are walking, they're driving, they're on bicycles, they can look to the south and they can see beautiful marsh views. The other thing that it does is it really helps our drainage situation out. So now we've created all this pervious surface so the water can go ahead and settle into the earth instead of running off onto the street and creating drainage problems.
You know, obviously our partners, South Carolina Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration, City of Beaufort, South Carolina Electric and Gas, that these type projects are an enormous collaborative undertaking. And we appreciate not only their support, but also the patience and support of the traveling public while this work was going on.
Yeah, so probably the biggest thing is just relationships. So we had so many stakeholders involved and keeping a positive relationship as far as the project and the direction of the project, and specifically with the owners. Basically, the owners setting the tone of the project and the vision of the project, and then setting the right personnel in the room together to facilitate the project. So having weekly coordination meetings with all those stakeholders, from the utilities to the DOT and Federal Highway and the county and the city, as well as the contractor and their subcontractors that are facilitating the work. So having all those personnel that we can weekly and coordinate on a day-to-day and weekly schedule, it's just, you don't get that on every project. And I think that's been a special part of this project, is just the team that we've created to facilitate this work and bring this vision to life.
I think the fact that, look at the economic development and the impact that that's going to have. Right now it's beyond the project, but we have 2 Hilton hotels being built. They're going to add almost 200 rooms. We have a Spring Hill Suite that's going to be starting very soon. That's going to be, I believe, another 110 rooms. And virtually, we have a major shopping center that's going through a whole renovation with at least 1 major store coming in. So our goal originally was to say we're investing $30 million in infrastructure, but we expect to have $150 million of new economic development. We're seeing that start with not only the hotels, but new businesses coming in all along the way.
So this has really been a case exemplar for how local government can get things done efficiently and effectively at a pretty darn good cost to the taxpayer.